You are listening to the Bucket Getters. We're going to be talking basketball all day today. Remember, please come in with calls. I am Gannon Hannibal. I'm alongside my co-hosts Dan Allison and Jaden Jagtiani. Remember, you know the number 1-800-BUCKETS. 1-800-BUCKETS. You call the number. We will answer any questions you guys have. And today we are going to be getting started with probably some of the biggest basketball news of the summer. Obviously, the LeBron James move was the biggest because he's the best player in basketball right now. But arguably the top 5 player, Kawhi Leonard, demands to leave San Antonio. He gets the trade he wants, a swap for DeRozan with a few other players involved. Jaden, what are your thoughts on the move? Who won the deal?
I mean, I think that the Spurs might have actually won the deal, even though Kawhi was considered to be top 5, maybe even top 3 in some discussions for a two-way player with his defense and then also his scoring ability. But he also said that he didn't want to play in Toronto. But he said he wanted out of San Antonio and he doesn't want to play in Toronto. So he has to decide what he wants to do, and if he wants to make money playing basketball, then he needs to cope with whatever situation he's in.
Dan, what are your thoughts?
For the most part, I agree. I mean, for the Spurs, we already know Kawhi, if he was able to be a free agent next summer, he was going to leave San Antonio originally. So, for the Spurs to be able to dish out a player that no longer wants to be there and is going to leave for, I believe, DeMar has 3 more years on his contract. 3 years of one of the best shooting guards in the league. I think that's probably the best trade for them, hands down. Obviously, they had to give up Danny Green as well, but that's not that big of a deal when you're gaining one of the best in the game, and it's just a major bonus for them.
So one of the fun things, obviously, about basketball is you're able to talk hypotheticals. And let's say Kawhi loves it in Toronto. He's hanging out with Drake on the weekends. Obviously, Kawhi's a fun guy to hang out with, said nobody in San Antonio. But let's say he loves it there and he signs an extension. Then who wins the deal?
I mean, then the Raptors do, but I don't see Kawhi staying in Toronto for a long time.
Right.
I think he'll be there for 2, maybe 3 years, and then go to a bigger city. Like, I see him maybe going to New York, maybe even LA when LeBron leaves, or something around there. If they put an expansion team somewhere, I could see him being the cornerstone for that team. But if he ends up staying, the Raptors will win the trade because they will have a top 5 player. But if he doesn't, then it'll be San Antonio, especially with Popovich, one of the best coaches in the league.
All right, so we actually have our first caller. This is Thomas from Winthrop. What is your question, Thomas?
What's up, guys? Thank you for letting me get on your show. Love the show. Great show. Honestly, just an amazing show. My question is, you're talking a lot about DeMar DeRozan and Kawhi Leonard, but what's going to happen to Kyle Lowry? Because everyone thought he was going to leave last year, and he signed to stay with his good buddy DeMar DeRozan. So what's going to happen to him?
That's a great question. Dan, what do you think about that one?
I mean, those two were kind of one of the best duos, not just on the court, but for team chemistry. I mean, they bonded so well together, and especially if Kawhi ends up leaving Toronto, he's not happy there, that might set Lowry off, and he will want out. So, I don't know, the Kawhi move in general is very risky for Toronto, and everything could crumble around them if one move goes wrong.
To put in my thoughts, I think one of the biggest aspects of this trade is the East is so wide open right now after LeBron's move to the West Coast that I think this is Toronto saying we want to run the East. We have a new head coach. We have a whole country behind us. Last year we got the 1 seed and we didn't finish as well as we were hoping. This year we want a new player to run the East. What do you think about that, Jaden?
I mean, Kawhi will run the East. He is probably a top 2 player, top 3, Kyrie and Giannis. But, I mean, Kyle Lowry's, in my opinion, a top 5 point guard. He's been shooting the 3 pretty well as of late, and then him and Kawhi, I feel, could be a lethal duo together, along with OG Anunoby, who's a beast, in my opinion.
Well, people forget Kawhi's coming off a major injury, and he also had injuries even before his last injury. So a lot of injuries in the past that could really change a player. We've seen it before in Derrick Rose and many other players. So we'll just have to wait and see.
That's a good point. We have more to talk about. Obviously, more NBA news on the horizon. Carmelo Anthony now a Rocket. We're going to get to all of this later. We're going to cut to a commercial break. Keep listening, keep sending in calls. We'll get back.